How's everybody doing here? My name is Frank Summers. Welcome to another Wednesday Lunch live sketch. Today I'm going to be drawing a user request, Jibanyan from Yokai Watch. I don't have much, what do you want to call it? I don't have much experience. I haven't really watched Yokai Watch. I really never seen it before. It's not that I wouldn't. It's just it's not on my radar. But that said, I thought I'd give it a try. So if you're new to the Wednesday Lunch live sketch, we pick a topic every week. We do it for about 25 minutes. And that said, let me hop into my timer and set it. And away we go. Okay, let's get into Photoshop and let's start doing this. So he's pretty basic. That's what I like about him. His head has an interesting bean shape to it. So I already did a few sketches this morning. I kind of like this one where he's got that little dance maneuver going on there. So let me think. You know, I don't want to look at the reference too much right now because I want my own kind of interpretation of it to go. One of the hard thing for this probably will be getting the shape of his head probably correct. And I think proportions might be a bit of an issue, but I mean, he's pretty simple. See, I think I'm already changing my mind a little bit here. I think I want him to be up on one foot here like this, and then maybe this leg will be up like this. Yeah, I think I'm going to change my mind. And he's got this shape right here and a little collar and bell. His eye line, I believe, is pretty much in the center, but we'll add a little bit of rotation to the head. Here's our center line. Get some feeling of volume. Some ears. We have a straight going against the curve, a straight going against the curve, and there's a chip taken out of that one. So we can play maybe this line a little straighter. Wacom. It's here. My May Wacom newsletter is here. What could possibly be in there? Come spend $2,500 on us. That said, I am in the market for a new Wacom, a new Cintiq. A new Wacom, I said. I'm in the market for a new Cintiq. So probably within the next 2 or 3 months, I think I'll be buying a new Cintiq. I'm currently using a old 2005 21-inch UX. Bought it when it was brand new. This thing has definitely been a workhorse, but I think it's past its prime. So let's get the eyes in there. The eyes are centered somewhere underneath of the ears, and we can add a little bit of volume to this one. And the eye pupils are pretty large. They almost eat up the entire eye. Nose is centered between the eyes, right along the eye line, and then his mouth was pretty large. I want him to have an open mouth. And it has this graphic shape going on like this. In general, these characters are pretty flat from what I can tell. Teeth. He's got the idea of a tooth right here, too. It almost makes him look like a dog. Tongue. And he's got the I don't know what this is. I don't know what this waistband is considered. We could add I've seen drawings where it is a little crunched in one corner, so that's nice. And so this is going to be a thing of proportions, really. And we have his tail, his two tails. So one could be over here someplace. And I don't know. I don't know where to put the other one. I feel like the two-tail thing is a very busy. It's very busy. Maybe we can have it over here someplace. And the hand can be around here. And let's maybe shorten this a little bit. Save, as we should do. Save. So what I think I want to do right now is let's do a little zoom out action. He's pretty small in frame, so why don't I scale him up? Good scaling. Give myself something to work with. And we'll zoom out really far, give a good squint, and see what sticks out. This particular area over here is not exactly doing anything for me. I feel like it's just a strange design. So let's experiment. Maybe we can, since he's such a simple character, we can do a little bit of experimentation. Let's take a look at the reference. I mean, it's always separate. I got his legs too long. I mean, I guess this is what's going to happen. I guess I'll have it come over here somewhere. And maybe this one should come back a little bit. That'll help balance it out, I think. My eraser bigger. Let me see. Look at head proportions. So his head and body proportion. Could probably go a little smaller on the body. Maybe make the head a little larger. We can do that just by cheating here. Since we're in the rough phase, we can just grab it. And we can scale this puppy up. That's good. And we definitely need to bring down these feet. I've seen different versions where some liberties are taken with proportion, and so this is definitely more like a little stump. And we can maybe add a little bit of bend to this. And so this is wider and shorter, this little piece here. And I like having the bell kind of come up. His little ball there. And yeah, I feel like this is pretty good. We can take the hand and maybe make that a little shorter. There we are. And so again, this is just a matter of playing with his proportions, I think. I think what I also might do is take this his waistband here. I can pull it down a little bit more and take this leg and tuck it behind it. And so this is, I'm kind of like sculpting the drawing a little bit. And by doing that, I'm not sure if that looks weird or not. And one thing to do is to flip it. Flip your drawing. And it doesn't look too weird. Generally, when you flip a drawing, all of a sudden it becomes, it's either going to work or it's going to become very weird looking. And it didn't weird me out too much, so I guess I'm going to stick with it. And let's try and work on the bean shape of the head here. Make it a little more flatter on the bottom. Okay, super. And now let's find the ear. I think this ear is working okay, actually. We can maybe tuck it behind his head a little more. Take that chip out. Make this nice and round. All right, and now we can kind of design these a little better, I think, now. A little lower on his body, I think, too. So we can get the flame and have it kind of curl around, kind of pointing back into, bringing our eye back into the design. And I think the same thing with this. So the flame should be kind of pointing up to his ear. All right, I feel pretty good about some of this. I think what I can do now is maybe give it the flip back. Transform, flip horizontal. All right, it's not totally grossing me out. Let's really get these eyes in there. Okay, cool. Fantastic. Let's do a save. I think what I can do next, come on, there we are. We can maybe we can do a little bit of cleanup, I think. Let's see if we can just go right to cleanup on this guy. And I'm going to need his reference. That's a pretty black line around him. Very thin, and that's probably where I'm going to run into trouble, I think. Why don't I just use a standard pen? And flow. Pull up this guy. And we'll go a little darker. So let's see what we can pull out. Again, let me see the reference. So the flames possibly do not have a black line around them. Oh, no, they do. Oops. Hello. Hello. How am I doing on time? Okay, we got 15 minutes. That's pretty good. I want to bring this to a color stage. So I think, again, I'm probably going to run into a bit of an issue on cleanup on this guy because he's got a pretty thin line there, and I hope I can do it justice. I'm using all of my brain power. Ah, I ran out of brain power. A little flatter on the bottom. Yes, I mean it's okay. It's such a thin line. That's This is the challenge for me. For me, this is the challenge on this one. Working with such a thin line. Yeah, good. Do not exactly come to a point. You do not have 3 lines converging up there. Nice straight curve, and here's our little divot. And continuing our curve. And again, these 3 lines do not converge, which is very good. We do not want to flatten out the image. This is definitely where I'm going to require a lot of brain power. Cleanup in general, especially when working with a line this thin, is difficult for me. It's kind of a slow process. There we are. Whew. Holding my breath. Let's see if we can nail this one. All right. Yeah. It's not perfect. It's not mechanical. That's for sure. This is the hard part for me. The other part before is very easy for me. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty basic design, and his posing is pretty simple. For me, the cleanup is killer. And I don't normally work this clean on the live sketch, so it's definitely a matter of trying to nail it, get it right. Whenever I see good cleanup, I certainly appreciate it. I always talk about Prince of Egypt. I mean, that movie has some of the most insane cleanup. There's something to be said about having a line that's thin and controlled and doesn't look like bent wire, you know. So let's see what we can do here with this bell. Let's clean this up. And by bent wire, I mean it still is retaining shape and giving the illusion of volume. And a character like this, where he's very simple. You kind of need all the help you can get in terms of getting a line that's clean. Take a peek, zoom out a little bit. You know, working with ink is one way of boning up on your ability to do cleanup. You're gonna do it well. I try to draw from life in my sketchbook with ink. I try to do it twice a week, but it doesn't happen. This needs to be fixed as well, right here. And the reason I draw from ink, from life, because there's kind of like no you can't really fudge your line. You have to kind of put a line down that makes sense and has to say something. Make my eraser a little smaller. I feel like I'm doing this very fine work right now. Which again, if you've been following my live sketches, I don't really work this clean. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's got really one in the middle. 1 and 2. Then we got 1, and maybe we can add a little bit of a bend to this one. 2. So this is pretty graphic, actually. And by graphic, I mean there's no overlapping. This just kind of goes down. We gotta find his line here. Right. I mean, are these rounded or are they sharp? They're a little sharp, actually. The same with these right here. They're sharper than what I have. They kind of come to a point while still being rounded on the edges there. They come to a point. Ready? We doing on time? We gotta get those flames in. 6 minutes left. 3.5 minutes left. A little sharper. I have to change these lines to color. I'll make them into a color fill. Let's get in there and clean this up. I'll change these into color lines. As I extremely zoom in. Yeah, I don't watch Yokai Watch. My brother does. Children enjoy it muchly. I wish I would watch it more. I don't know. It's not that I wouldn't. These look maybe a little thicker than when I have them. And I wonder if I'm even allowed to bend them like this. Let's see. Let's try and figure out how to do the swirl in this one. Clean this up. And I'm going to have to make the other side a little thicker to match. Yeah, so let's zoom out a little bit. Oh, well, you know what else would help if I wasn't doing my cleanup on the wrong layer. So let's grab that. Go to our cleanup. Paste in place. Crush down. And we can take one of these lines here and zonk them. This day, I draw on the wrong layer, no matter what application I'm working in, whether it's Harmony or Toon Boom or Photoshop, Flash. I'm good for drawing on the wrong layer at some point. Let's take this and nudge it around. Oh, digital tools. And clean this up. Yeah, this is kind of why I don't work this clean, I think, on the live sketch, because it's just kind of bogs it down a little bit, slows me down. And the next thing I need to do is just kind of get that little swirl into his face. Which I believe isn't too hard. Of course, I say that now. It's around there somewhere. I think I can work with that. Maybe that needs to come around a little more. Yeah, it needs to be a little higher. And again, no, that's black. Save. Okay, let's add some color to this guy. Color. And I'm going to just straight up rip the color right out of this guy because I'm not quite sure. Get a nice big fat marker or whatever. Actually, let me let's cheat a little bit here. Select inverse. And I'm just going to paint bucket that. Undo. Let's shrink our selection. I'll show you what I'm up to in a second here. Modify, contract, just by like 1 pixel. No, screw you. So let's contract it one more time. Modify, contract. No, not expand. Modify, contract. Do it by 2 pixels. Okay, great. Feel better about that. Shit. There we go. All right, now what I'll do is every color I make from here on, I will make as a clipping mask. So we can just kind of go to town here. And this orange seems slightly, I'm not sure if it's working, but we'll find out. And since it's on its own layer, it's pretty easy to kind of adjust. Sure, they're either white. No, they're yellow. All right. I can be sloppy now with the edges because I'm using it as a clipping mask. Mask this in. Starting to get sloppy because I'm working quickly. All right, sample his eye color. Every time I use a yellow, it's so hard to see it underneath my pen highlighter. Black for the pupils. All right, we're going over a little bit. It happens. I feel like this method is the reverse of painting on cell. Wait, what color did I just pick? Whereas if you're painting on cell, which I've done 2 films with on cell, when you're painting on cell, you generally fill in the smaller areas first. And you let it, like, you know, like mouths and noses and stuff like that. And then you let that dry. Then what you do is you do all the large area because then you just paint right over top of the smaller areas. All right, let's do this. Sample that color. Is that right? Nope, it's more interior. Yeah, it goes through the cleft like that. As interior of his mouth, we're gonna have to steal from there. I'm not entirely sure. That might be a little more purpley, I think. Oops, I'll have to fix the teeth. What helps is that this guy is so saturated. It really really helps make them pop, you know? I think his teeth are still white, so you know what? I'm just going to have to blow them up. Let's make my... Yeah, it's like the same white as the face, so we're not reinventing the wheel here. Get that tongue there. Save. Save, and save often, and save always. I've seen many a project file just get eaten alive. Tom the Shark Boy. Wow, cool. Thanks, man. Glad you appreciate it. I think before I said that I have a vision of Escaflowne cells in my basement, and they're so tight, they're so clean. I almost can't even like fathom how they pulled it off. Selecting. What's going on here? Deselect. Where's my color? Am I not coloring my? Right? Why is this being strange? What's going on here? And select that color? Why would I not be able to select that color? That's being weird. Right? Example, if I click something funny, all I want to do is grab this color here. I'm on that layer. Something is afoot. I must have clicked something strange because my magic wand is acting like a chump right now. Oh, that stinks. Save it. Deselect. I'm not quite sure why this is acting like this. Huh. Magic wand. Yeah, look, it's selecting the entire canvas. Huh. And I'm on the layer. Point sample. Maybe contiguous. Oh. I am at a loss as to why this is not working. Reset that tool. I just did the same thing with his ear. I used a... Is cap lock on or something? No. Well, that is really strange, I have to say. I don't understand what I did. I did something. Is my quick mask on? That's what it was. I hit my quick mask. Oh, silly me. So let's get this in here like this. And that might be a bit much. Yeah, it's a bit much. Let's do a little bit more like this. According to this style, anyway. So, sample of Pokeball. Pokeball, you know what it is. Let's go under here. And of course I'm going over. Of course. A little bit of a dot here. And oh yeah, I forgot. I can do this. It's a bit of a cheat, but it's all right. I'm allowed. All right, let's grab this. And then we'll go up to the final line and we'll change this line color so that it matches. And it's only the interior, it's not the exterior. Maybe we'll do it like this. Clean that up a little better. Let's go over here, same thing. Oops. It's fun how this show kind of keeps the yokai folklore. It kind of makes it into a cartoon. I'm thinking of that whole segment in Phoenix Wright, the later Phoenix Wright. Maybe it was the last one. The Yokai Village, I think it was. Yeah, it's fun. And we can do this. Let's pop down, clean this up a little better. All right, let's get a move on here. So we have the same white going on in the save. Good job. Thank you, Annie. Hey, Pikapedi's here. How's it going, man? Thank you for showing up. I'm going to try and wrap up because I need to get back to work. Let's just get this in nice and clean. It's like I was saying before, it's having a nice clean line is something I try to do. It's difficult. It is not one of my fortes. And that said, I work on it. I do try to work on it. It's something I'm conscious of. I'm aware of it. You know, and like I said, I try to do life drawing twice a week. I go to a coffee shop and that's nearby, and I just draw people, and I use ink, and I work quickly and loosely. But I'm trying to be efficient. This is going to probably help tie it all together really quickly. And that really helps just build what I like to refer to as economy of line. Where you're doing more with less. And by that, I mean that, so recently I did an animation live stream, I think on Monday night. And yeah, Pikapedi, the same thing. You go on your lunch break. You got to do it, man. Working from life is, and even if like you're working from life, like go wherever. Like if you go to the mall or whatever, just try and be inconspicuous because people know that they're being drawn and they get all weird. But like the thing is that it helps you practice two things. It helps you practice your being able to see and memorize memory, and it also helps you just be quicker. So let's just put in some tones here. And what I'm going to do is cheat slightly. I'm not going to paint the tones in. Put them on another layer. So if I'm not thrilled with what I'm doing, I can kind of easily get rid of it. See? That's why I put it on another layer. So I'm going to do that. And we can just kind of continue here. And then we can sample this gray. And then that is really dark. I don't like that. Let's clean this up. Fix this. There we go. Grab this gray again. We work a little smaller. There we go. And what else do we got? He's got a little under his mouth. What else? He's got a little under his head, same kind of gray going on like this. Maybe even a little bit of a shadow like this on his ball. Have a little bit of a shadow on the ball here, like so. And then the other side. This a little thinner, my brush. These are pretty minute details right now. But it's what helps sells it. I think I can do something like this. And then underneath here, grab this gray again, finish this off. Clean this up a little nicer. And I think we're basically almost there. I can't see anything else that I think I would do. That's about the final address measure. How does one get better at clean lines? And a lot of my drawings end up looking sketchy. I get frustrated trying to. Yeah, I mean it's a thing, man. Pikapedi's talking about having clean lines. You know, it's. Let me save. I mean, it's certainly something to you have to work on. You know, I mean, I never work this clean on my live sketches, mainly because it takes so much time. It's like a time-consuming type thing, and so I'm working quickly with these things. And like a lot of times, I'm squeezing in sketching as it is in the first place. I'm just trying to sketch quickly. So like half the time, my drawings are sketchy and kind of not amazing. So that's even when I'm sketching, I'm trying to think. Like if I know that I'm not going to I'm not going to any kind of cleanup, I'm still trying to think cleanly, and a lot of that also has to do with your thought process. So I've heard someone say this recently. You draw it twice. You draw it once in your head, and then you draw it again with the pencil. So a lot of this is also part of the thought process. So anyway, so guys, I'm gonna have to wrap up because this went a little longer than I was expecting. Let me just do one more final check. Am I missing anything on this guy? I mean, he's looking okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's okay. Oh, you know what he needs? The glow. He needs a ghostly. Well, this one doesn't have a ghostly glow. Yeah, I may or may not put a ghostly glow around it. I don't know. Who cares? I have to go now, guys. What you see in front of you now is a couple of links. There's a subscribe button. Please click that to subscribe to me. Keep up to date with all the fun things that I do and all the shenanigans. You'll see a link there for the timeline tips. I do a series of Toon Boom Harmony tutorials. That particular link will bring you to the beginning of the the beginning of the playlist. I highly recommend you go to the beginning of it, as the tutorials do build on each other. I do the Wednesday lunch live sketch every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and I often do, I don't know, I'm seeing if I can mix in some animation live streams. So there's one there, and yeah, everything else. So yeah. Thanks for hanging out with me here, guys. I really appreciate it. I was also simulcasting this to Picarto TV. I'm not really quite sure if anyone was listening to me there or watching me there, but I really appreciated it if you did. Thank you very much. You guys have a great week, and I will see you soon. Take care.